righty, we are recording. All right, so welcome back. We're going to continue on the theme from last week. It was pretty cool at the end of the conversation, and it's just like Ed Fordyce to drop these like nugget bombs, right? And I'm like, holy crap, I really hadn't thought about this. But the conversation, we hit a lot of different things about what's working in the market. We were supposed to hit some technical stuff as well as some mindset stuff, but really we stayed on the mindset stuff quite a bit. And the last nugget that he dropped was the topic of trust. Like, do we have the trust of our colleagues, have the trust of our customers, but more importantly, do we trust ourselves? And it came up, the way that he had set the stage was like, hey, he trusts himself to go toe to toe with Tony Robbins, right? He's done the work. He's coached agents. He's saved people's lives. For that, he trusts himself, right? But he doesn't trust himself. I forget the example he said, but it might have been, I don't know, selling real estate or whatever it is, or being a listing agent because he hasn't put the hours in, right? And it got me to thinking, like, where is it in our business or in our personal lives that we don't have full trust in ourselves and our capabilities, right? So let's just tease that out a little bit. Like when we're not prospecting, when we shy away from like that $1 million listing, or we have these, we're not trusting ourselves that we have the expertise to help those people, right? Do we not trust ourselves when we're not making those prospecting calls consistently, that we don't have the knowledge and the skill to help them out? Are we not trusting ourselves to, or have enough trust in who we are at EXP to go out and have conversations about agent attraction, right? Do we feel, somebody termed that, I don't know who it was, John Marcus, I think it was, I heard it from, but he might not be the author. Like, do we have EXP insecurity about something? A great company, right? Such great value propositions. But I'll be the first one to say, like, when I first started, I had EXP insecurity about not having an office because I had been in the old-fashioned model for 15 years, right? I can tell you then right now, that's done. Like, I don't have that anymore. But knowing that, that's an internal conversation in most cases, that we're insecure about stuff internally, and then that's showing up out in the world. You get that, right?
Yeah, it'll totally show in your eyes and how you present yourself to your family, your friends, and yeah, I totally get it, Guillermo.
Yeah. The other way this came up and how Ed had teed it up was he talked about how he joined EXP in our organization, Game Changers here in the EXP. And he said these words, he said, people don't join companies, people join people. And he said, and just his personal experience is that, hey, I joined because I joined Guillermo, right? And he said three things, and it's going to apply to your relationships with your customers and your agent attraction business, right? He said, I knew that Guillermo cared about me. I thought Guillermo could help me. And at the end of it, I trusted him. So it was those three elements. Cared, he could help, and then there was a trust level. And it really got me thinking this past week, the conversations, especially as it relates to agent attraction. Like, I know every one of your hearts, you care about the people in your lives and the people that you would ask to be part of your organization, right? So that's just got to come through, and I think it does in most cases. Help, for sure, right? If not you personally in what you're doing, but the platform of EXP, the fact that we've got things like reps to provide them with, all our collective experience, guys like Ed Stratton, guys like Ed Fordyce, collectively, we all have coaches. Chris is a coach at Rebs. Like, all this collective stuff, we absolutely can help. Where I think sometimes our conversations fall apart is the trust. And I really spent a lot of time this week thinking about, hey, where did the conversations go well, where people actually came on board, and where it didn't go well, right? And it really fell on trust. There was one guy, I started telling the story last week, where he just refused to get on the phone with me, right? He refused to get on a video call, have a live conversation. It's all text message, right? And he's like, hey, I want you to write down what you're talking about when it means partnership. Like, how are we partnering together, right? And I'm trying to like, hey man, listen, I here's some concepts, but it's a involved, complicated conversation that really is not well handled over a text message. And it was like lack of trust. Did not trust me at all. Got even sort of belligerent about it. Like, you sound like everybody else. You know, you sound like this other guy, Lars. I'm like, yeah, well, I sound like him because we're partners, right? We're all for the same thing. But the trust factor was not there. And at the end of the day, he was like, yeah, man, I actually try to do a voice drop so that you could hear my tonality, understand, like, I'm not some robot on the other side of here. And he's like, yeah, I'm not listening to that. Like, if you can't put it in writing, like, then that's a warning sign to me. That's I can't trust you. And I'm like, man, what happened in your life? Now, he's a lawyer, and so like I get it, man. I'm a lawyer too. Like I've dealt with that world. Sorry, lawyers out there who might be watching this video sometime in the future. You guys have broken a little bit with the risk thing and the trust thing. But yeah, with that set up as a backdrop, where in your life are you not trusting yourself in your business or your personal? We can dig into that as well. Come on, be vulnerable. I know there's people here who want to do agent attraction, right? Go ahead, Ed.
I'll start it off for kind of what I deal with. Sometimes I don't trust myself when I'm out there putting out content and trying to gravitate and bring people in and attract people to do business with me. And that kind of plays out in, I try to force relationships instead of trusting the fact that, I'm gonna build that relationship with the person slowly and kind of build the trust and everything like that. I get this like insecure piece of like, I don't think they're going to like me or they're not going to want to do business with me and trust me. And that plays out in, I try to force these relationships to work instead of like trusting the process of, hey, when these people get to know who I am, what my heart is and what I want to do, they're going to love me and want to do business with me. But that piece on there of not trusting that people are going to like me and want to do business with me causes me to sometimes force relationships. So when you force something like that, people can smell it out. It's just like when you take a client out and like you really need that sale because you need that paycheck to come in.
Right.
The client can sniff that. You're not trusting that, hey, if I serve this client, if I listen to their needs, they're going to buy a house with me. I trust that paycheck's going to come if I do the right things. But that's something for me that I've struggled with recently with this market being a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll self-sabotage, man. Like, it, right? They'll smell the desperation and the stink on you, like when you're pushing too hard and just you're not your genuine self. Like, recording videos is another example. Like, that's exactly on point, right? How many of us know that we need to communicate in a different way, right? People want to be communicated with differently. Emails, text messages, calls are not as effective as putting out video content. Yet, how many of us are actually consistently putting out video content, right? And if we are we know that we're maybe going to that safe thing, maybe we're doing like, here's what's happening in the neighborhood and like, here's the market report, and we're not showing our genuine self on video, right? We're not trusting that who we are is valuable to people out there, right? That's a thing that there's been like a light bulb that's turned on for me, like with the video stuff. I'm just going to be who I am, right? Because the thing is, when you try to be somebody for everybody, you're nobody to anybody, right? So on that video, like, I really challenge you guys, like, just trust, like, be who you are. Go out there. Like, if you're dropping that bomb every 5 words, cool. Then you're gonna attract the people who want to buy houses. Then drop the F-bomb every 5 words, right? Cool. Might not be my client, but that's cool. There's somebody for everybody. Right. Where else are you not trusting yourself? And this is all like self-talk, man, internal talk. I saw Ed join on, brother. Join in when you can.
For me, Guillermo, when I'm shooting videos, this is the way I am. I put so much damn pressure on myself into, making sure the angle's right. Is this blemish covered? You know what I mean? And I just record over and over again. Then I get so ticked off at myself. I stop and I'm like, you know what? They're not looking at that. You just got to be genuine, helpful, and let everyone know you're providing a service. But for me, I'm just like always slapping myself, and I need to stop that right now. I'm telling you, that's what I'm struggling with.
Well, no, that's great. Like, and I'm right with you, Christine, because I'm recording snippets of these videos, and because I'm looking at the screen all over the place, I notice, and I know it, and like, there's so many times I almost didn't post it because my eyes are everywhere other than like the camera, right? And I'm like, hey man, I know it's not perfect. It's not exactly the way that it's like the technical way it's supposed to be done, but hey man, this is the format that I got, and this is what I'm doing. And at least I'm doing something and taking action on it. And that's the thing that it'll get better. Like I'll figure out, I get a better camera, so it's not as grainy. Maybe I'll train myself to look at the camera more than the screen. But the words, I mean, that's what I care about right now. I just want to get this out, help as many people as we can. Right. So yeah, just do it. Right. I think that's what you got, Ed. Just do it, like Nike. That's what life's about, just taking more action. Absolutely.
Yeah, with video, depending, I know when I started, I emulated. It's a big boy word. I want to get a gold star for that. I don't even know what that means, but I think it means be like somebody. John Maxwell. And John Maxwell did A Minute with Maxwell. And when I started doing video, I just acted like him. I was being authentic as I could be, but I knew it would help me if I knew how to take someone's like model of the video. So it would literally, I'm looking for, I used books. So let me grab a book real quick. I always have 70,000 books around me. So I would literally sit and look and go, hey gang, it's Coach Ed here with your message of the week. And the message of the week is from the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. On page 85, the author writes, the web, the quantum field holds all probabilities, which we can collapse into reality through our thoughts, consciousness, observation, feelings, and state of being. So I don't know what that means to you, but what it means to me is I know that I constantly have an energy field around me, blah, 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 blah. Use some tools, use books, use quotes, experiences. And that way we don't have to think of everything. It's already up there. And through that, I was able to be myself.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, and I started doing videos by just doing topics that I had conversations with people every single day. And so it flowed. And then somewhere along the way, I got lost. Somebody said, hey, there's this app with a teleprompter. And then I started like prepping stuff and putting in a teleprompter. And I felt like so robotic. And like, I felt like they know I'm reading it. And it sucked. And actually I stopped because it wasn't fun anymore. And now like I'm getting back into this and like, that was the pretty background and I had eye contact. And like, this feels so much better to me in terms of what we're doing than what I was doing before. Right. Just be authentic. Cool. Who else? How about the agent attraction stuff? Let's talk about that. Everybody knows that that's a huge part of the opportunity here at EXP. Yet, what's it, like 11% of people only take advantage of it? Right? We're here. Like, all right, so before I even get that, I'll segue right back to that. But I drop in the message board there a link from Inman News. Michael DiPrete, I think I mispronounced his name. Incredible how he analyzes what's going on in our industry right now. and draws a parallel between Netflix and Blockbuster. Is it another Blockbuster Netflix moment? And it's all data driven. He's not an EXP guy, third party source, analyzing it, like just saying, hey, this is what's going on in our industry. And wow. Like I shared that with somebody who had been talking to about EXP for over a year and a half. They're in. They watch it. They call me like, hey, I'm in. It's that compelling because the numbers don't lie, right? We are like the old-fashioned model is over. We are the new game in town, and not the new game. We are the model that makes sense for everybody. So we're here because it absolutely is the best company in the world, right? So the fact that only 11% of us are sharing that and taking advantage of agent attraction, that tells me there's a lot of internal conversations that we're having that are self-sabotaging and not having us pursue that opportunity. So let's just get it on the table, man. Let's talk about it and help it by talking about it and helping each other. We will help each other out, right? What are they? What are the conversations you're having where you hear the objections and maybe you don't know the response, or the internal dialogue you're having that prevents you from even having the conversations? Christine, looks like you got something in your brain. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I was well, you know what, Guillermo, one of this girl I was talking to for the past 2 years, she finally passed her real estate license. She wants to sign up with us. So
Yeah.
she's the one I sent the message to you about. So gosh, I've been really developing that relationship for 2 years. And when she sent me that message on IG, I thought I was seeing stars. I'm like, oh my God, finally. I guess for me, the challenge with agent attraction, major objections I get, it's not you guys are a virtual office, who's going to be there, who's going to hold my hand if I have problems with the deal transactions. And then of course I say, hey guys, we have a broker team, we have X amount of brokers that are here to help you, we have contract compliance analysts, admins here to all support you. And then from there, sometimes I get stuck. I'm like, gosh, what else can I say here? You know what I mean? Any suggestions?
Well, I mean, it starts with the first part. Like, you got to know what the other person across the table from you cares about and what they want out of their lives, right? So we don't want to be EXP all over them, but like some people are going to care about, hey, how do I learn how to sell, or how do I know how to sell, but how do I go from 3 million to 7-8 million? Or man, I've been selling $10 million for years and I'm just dead tired. Like I'm missing out on my family's lives. I'm out of shape. I'm going to have a heart attack because I'm stressed out all the time. I need to figure out a way to do this in a way that serves my life better, right? Everybody's different. And the cool thing is, like, we have the answer for pretty much any situation, right? As long as they're open and coachable and within culture, the solution's there. We've got it. But to have that conversation, you just got to know the person on the other side of the table and ask the questions that matter the most. And that was sort of the frustrating thing about that guy that wanted a text message. Just like I was trying to get to know him as an individual. What is that you want and need and what you want to achieve? And he had his guard up, right? And that's probably one of the bigger things in our industry. All these brokers out there, chasing them and trying to recruit them over there. And understand, that's not what we are. We're not brokers trying to get you in here and take from you. We're your partners. We're asking you to partner with us and build an incredible business that will serve you, your family, and other people's families. Right? We're not, and I think we can sound like them, like the brokers. I think it's our job to not sound like them, because we're not offering the same thing. Right? We're arm in arm with them rather than, hey, I'm going to try and extract as much as I can out of you. Right? Watch that video that's down there. They start with Compass talking about how they're going to raise the cost to their client, to their agents. I mean, that just hit me, boom, right in the head. Like, wow. That's front and center on their investor package. They're diametrically opposed to their client base. Right? We're not. We're hand in hand. We're partners. And just think about like that little shift in thinking, right? How that changes the conversation. Question?
Do you mind explaining that a little bit more, Guillermo? What you just said about this?
Tasha, you broke up there a little bit. I think that's you, right?
Yeah. Do you mind explaining that a little bit more, what you just said about Compass?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the video again, and this is not, I'm not trying to besmirch any brand or anything, but it's just fact driven. Like in their investor report, they talked about how they're going to become a profitable company. And the way they're going to do that is that they're reducing their expense, their commission expense, meaning they're going to basically pay out less splits to their agents, right? Because you think about it, like revenue comes in, what's the biggest cost in a brokerage? Cost of sales. It's the split that you pay to the agents, right? And then you got your operating expenses and then net income. So front and center on their investor report is, hey, we're going to turn around the fact that, they haven't been profitable, but one way to get profitable is they're going to basically raise our prices, right? Is the analogy he draws on the call. By basically reducing the amount of split that the Compass agents are getting, right? So that's a relationship where I got to take from you in order to thrive. Versus here, we're thriving together. Make sense? I implore you, the video is 21 minutes long. I think the first 15 minutes are about this disruption that EXP is leading the forefront on it. And then there's other companies, right? There's other companies in the conversation. What's actually telling is like, my former company, I was with Realty One, it's Flat Fee company. Yeah, they do a chart that's basically percentages that the agents get. So agents at EXP get 91% of their commission, Realty One 93%. But they don't have a platform to build a bunch of massive passive income sources. Right? Just interesting. Yeah, it's just a matter of like looking at the data and what's the unfair competitive advantage that we have and why we're winning. So if you're, again, bring it back to the trust conversation, if you're having internal conversations about like, hey, I don't know if we're worthy enough, I don't know whether this appeals to an agent in this market, or I don't know if I can be the right sponsor for this person, go look at that video and surround yourself with this data. Right? All of this.
If anybody has this is what I've learned over the years of doing this, that and it still happens to this day, and I crack myself up. When I find that I'm at a loss for words and I don't know what to say, it's because I'm thinking of what I can get. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all deserve to be rewarded. But I know what works better is I've probably done 10,000 recruiting appointments. And most of them, I don't even mention the company. So that was as a full-time recruiter. What I do know is, and we'll do some kind of like actual training on, how do we really do this? But what I would suggest, go back to that word authentic and just ask the questions. Hey, what's going on in your business? What's your biggest challenge? I just got the reason why I was late. I was on a call with an agent and I just said, what's your biggest challenge? And she started telling me about buyers and she wants to up her blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, what was your desired outcome for the year? And she said, well, my first desired outcome was 12 million, but now it's 8 million. And I said, what's the significance of 12 million? And she said, well, that would get me to the highest split in my company, which is like 80%. And in my head, I was like, you're you're done. Like, you know, but I just kept saying, all right, like, is that important to you? Like to net as much money is like what you're focused on is making your business most profitable. And agents, the right agents will close themselves. And Christine or Chris or John or Sasha or whoever, keep something in mind. These agents are joining you. I didn't join EXP. I joined Guillermo because I trust him. I know he can help me. And trust, like, hold on. And I know he can help me. Help, trust, care. I know he cares about me. I went probably, but those are the things. But what I would say is like the mindset is, tell me what's going on in your business, man. What's your biggest challenge? Just a cool conversation. If we have enough of them, and we don't have to have a whole lot, we find out a lot. And then to deliver the solution anymore, I say, look, I don't know if this is going to work for you or not, or this is a fit. Let me send you a video. It's going to appeal to you or it's not. If it appeals to you, cool. I'll let you talk to my partner, Guillermo. And because it's not any of your jobs to close someone on the spot. That's what I'm learning. Like I'm not, I can recruit, but I want to make sure that they are getting everything that they need. Does that help?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's huge because I mean, we're taught and when we meet with clients that you close, ABC, always be closing.
Yeah.
So to step back and give out info and not go for the close, it's almost counterintuitive.
Yeah. And John, by the way, it's great to see you, brother. And my question to you would be, would you be here if Guillermo was like, all right, dude, great, sign here, let's go?
No, me and him have been having a conversation for well over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, if this is the agent I was talking to does around 5 million. That is, let's just say 125 grand a year in income that she has to feel that she can trust. She's going to take her family's income and go, here, Ed, here, Guillermo, here, team. I am trusting you that you're going to lift my family up, that you're going to position me better. And by the way, that's the new thing. Our job is to put agents in a better position. And you can even write that down. Like that's something like my job is to put agents in a better position.
I like that.
And quite honestly, like I'm brutally honest with people. Like if I don't think for whatever reason, I'm working with one of our agents' prospects now. And I'm like, dude, look, if you're not looking to do this, and that, if stock doesn't excite you, if building a brokerage within a brokerage doesn't excite you, if a cap doesn't excite you, like, it's okay, man. Like, you're just, I'm trying to have a vegan eat the best porterhouse steak in the world. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and that, before I joined EXP, like I was done. I was done waving a flag. I was never going to wave another flag again. I was doing my own coaching stuff, my own training stuff, all different companies. I loved it. But when I found something that I went, I really believe in this. I really believe in it. Like I can put agents in a better position. I can take them out of pain. Right? My question now isn't, do you owe the IRS? My question is, how much do you owe the IRS? With about 50% of the agents, and they're just like, oh man, I wish you didn't ask me that question. So yeah, we'll continue to have these trainings, specific to revenue share.
Yeah.
But man, just those few key words. And remember that we're dealing with human beings. This isn't a seller. It's not a buyer. It's a human being whose livelihood is at stake here. That takes a little bit more care. Now, with that, I met with an agent that wanted to get together with me. The best way I can explain is just through my own experiences. And she wanted to pick my brain. And when people say that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, but lately I've been working on a lot of humility and going, this is a human being that needs my help. Let me go meet with her. So we talked about our personal issues, and it felt good. I'm like, all right, and finally at almost 57 years old, you're making progress. And she said, out of nowhere, she goes, and you know what? I'm not happy with my brokerage. What are you doing these days? And I said, well, actually, I swore I'd never wave a flag, but I'm with EXP. And she goes, get out. I was thinking of joining them. And I said, all right, we can talk about that in just a little bit. I'll send you some videos. We continued the conversation for 15 more minutes. And she said, I said, all right, let's wrap it up. And, I'll send you some videos. She goes, I don't need any videos. I'm ready to go. What do I do? I was like, all right. And I literally, this is how the universe works. I said, I want you to meet my friend. My phone rang, right, Guillermo? It was Guillermo calling. I was about to say, I want to introduce you to my friend Guillermo. He called. Yeah, servant's heart, man. The agents need your heart. They need your authenticity. Yeah, we can back this up with logic. And that's what I was going to say. That's what I'm for. That's what Guillermo's for. I still don't have all the info down, but the agents need to feel your heart, your care, your authenticity. And once they trust you, then we can back that up with the logic that Guillermo can go over the numbers with, go over the plan. I can help them with a business plan, but just lean in with your heart, man. That's what works for me. Everybody's different, man, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, right? It's just genuine. And to your point, and John, you brought up, this, I think, is just much more enjoyable than helping a buyer or seller, right? It's more rewarding, in my personal opinion. You're gonna just help people's lives and their families, right? Because it is the best thing for them. You're not selling them crack cocaine. I use that all the time, right? We're not doing that. We're helping them be in a better position. And just being curious. I did something that I've only done a few times in the past, but I did something today that I'll share with you. Love you guys' feedback. There's a lady here in Spain where the model's even better here, for people that are looking to maximize their take home. And this particular person, I basically ran through the numbers and showed her that she can make 350,000 more euros a year by just moving her business from here to here, among other things. Build her team, help her scale, that kind of stuff. And she didn't join it. And it was the logic side of my brain, I don't get it. If it was me, I'm in. 350,000, I can change my lives, I can change other people's lives. But there was something else that she was not telling me that was impacting her decision. And I actually reached out last week. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I just take you to lunch? And I just want to get some feedback on our conversation. No pressure. This is not a sale. This is me not pressuring you to come to EXP. I just want to understand better, what may be that people are not saying to me, right? And so we had the dinner and the lunch, dinner, same thing here. And I started the conversation listen, I don't want you to pull any punches. Just give me it. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. What are the things that are preventing you from making this move? And I had in the back of my mind, like, you know, what Ed was saying, is the trust. Am I just not coming off as trustworthy, or can I not help you? And at the end of the conversation, it was good. It was like what happens in most cases, fear. It was comfort in where it's the known versus the unknown. Literally, at the end of the day, that's all it was. And I'm like, cool. All right, then just keep on watching from afar, right, until you're ready. Right? No pressure. Lived up to my commitment. I was going to ask her to make any moves or pressure. Like, just keep on watching what we're doing until you get comfortable. But just know, like, literally, there in August, July, there were 450 agents total in Spain. In August, 200 more agents joined that month. Right. So that's like when you know the numbers, like, it's just going to be a matter of time before it's enough energy and support and numbers around us where people are like, oh, I get it. Right. Because I'm sure in the Philly market, right, you guys have probably, and gals have heard it, like, I don't see the signs as much. Right, in Philly. Look at the data, it's coming. If it's not there already, like, it's coming. Just a matter of time. So be patient, be caring, be curious, and just care about the other person on the other side of the table for me.
Something came up on one of the realtor Facebook pages, and I think they were bashing EXP. And I said, I challenge anyone here to comment if they would not love to change places with my friends at EXP that are pulling in anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 a month in revenue share. You all would love to switch places with them. And it's the truth. It's the truth. You just got to get it out of their own way. And like, that's something that, imagine the impact that we can have on lives, that 5 years from now, 5 of your colleagues are waking up on January 1st going, whether my butt gets out of bed or not, I'm making 200 grand this year, or 100 grand, or 50 grand, or whatever it is. Just think of that freedom, man. That is unbelievable. That is some cool stuff. So sometimes when we get some pushback, it's like, hey, look, I would love to be John Mikas right now. I would love to be Lars right now. And anyone that would say, nah, God, no. I can't stand making a 6-figure monthly passive income. That is so boring.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know?
With no cost.
Yeah. And at the same time, I know that they have a slew of, you know, $5,000 and $10,000 monthly income earners. That's awesome stuff, man. And it's something I, tell agents. I say, you realize that in order to create this kind of rev share, nothing moves, nothing flows unless we're selling a ton of houses. We are a real estate company that sells a lot of homes. If the homes don't sell, there is no revenue. So keep that in mind. For someone, at the top, probably the top earner is probably $1 million a month in rev share. There's got to be a lot of homes being moved for one dude to take $1 million a month in rev share. A lot of homes. So I gently remind people that, yeah, we are a real estate company, man. We sell a lot of homes.
Yeah, fact. Again, go watch that video. We'll show you how many homes we're selling versus the competition. It's such a cool video, man. Like, who's watched it? I know Ed's watched it. I watched it. Anybody else? That's your homework.
Yeah.
It will, if you have any sort of EXP insecurities, they're gone, right? If you don't trust yourself to have the conversation about EXP, this video should wipe it out for you, right? Because that's how we started this conversation. Where are we not trusting ourselves? in our businesses, in our personal lives. And it got here just because, you know, the numbers don't lie, the results don't lie. And I committed myself this year to be a better trainer, partner for our RevShare group, right? Before I was like, all right, if you guys do it, it's okay. I'm not going to push you on this. I'm pushing you on this because it's the right thing for you and your family, right? I will have failed you and everybody that depends on, you know, you and me if I'm not having this hard conversation with you. So whatever conversation you're having internally that's preventing you from picking up the phone and having a conversation with your friends, your other realtor friends who respect you, because you're all great real estate agents, that's your second piece of the homework. Watch the video, but really be truthful with yourself. What's holding you back? My dog's chiming in. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's chiming in on my I don't got enough bones. I don't know. But whatever it is, you guys got to really dig in and think about what's the internal conversation that's preventing me from picking up that phone, or if I'm in front of them at a closing table or at the bar or at dinner and not having a conversation about EXP. What's that internal conversation? Be very aware of what that is. That's your homework. We all have it, man. We all have it. It's going to show up in your personal life and your business life. In my personal life, it's Spanish. I've spoken about it plenty of times. I still, to this day, I've been living in Spain 2 years. I still, in certain contexts, will shy away from people who are speaking Spanish when I'm not at my highest level because my energy's down and I don't want to speak it because I have this internal insecurity, not trusting myself. So we all do it. Everybody, no matter what level they're at, they have this internal conversation where they don't trust themselves at some sort of level. Your job is to recognize it and work towards breaking through it. And we're here to help you with that. Cool? All right. We got 10 more minutes. What else we want to talk about?
Hey, just a thing for Stratton, man. Although he lacks in the looks and the charisma and the good voice categories, referred him I don't even think the text went through yet. He was on the phone with a client. Man, world-class service, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. She's pre-approved and hopefully putting a house under contract tomorrow.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm sorry. I forgot about that one. That's two. I wasn't even talking about Holly. I was talking about somebody else. Holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great service, brother. I appreciate that, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate your trust.
If you guys have not reached out to Ed, I implore you to just give him a shot, have a conversation with him. He's a different breed. And Ed, at Stratton, I almost got that development project under contract. So I plugged you to the guy or the gal who's going to own it. So that'd be 37 homes. Get them pre-approved.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Rock and roll.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Fed meets today, guys. So they're going to give their interest rate decision in a couple hours. The market's responding really well to it right now. 99% chance the market's saying they're not going to increase it now. And there's like a 79% chance that they're not expected to increase it in November. So don't pay as much attention to what they actually do with their increase or no increase, but their commentary. And if any of you guys have questions after the call and you want a couple talking points you can use with clients, because everybody just sees Fed increase rate or Fed didn't increase rate. They don't actually understand what's going on. So if you need a couple like really easy, like 3 bullet points that are high level, so you can walk a customer through it, if you're meeting with them this week or they're seeing anything going on, I think if they give us some really soft commentary after their interest rate decision that they might be done, I think that's the break we've all been kind of waiting for in the interest rate world. So we'll see. But if after they have their meeting, if you have questions or you just need a couple talking points, whether it's good or bad, I'll give you some stuff so you can sound a little bit different than the rest of your competition out there.
Awesome. Hey, Ed, can you make next week's call? Is that possible?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let's go look here. And they're at 11 now, correct? Or was it
Yeah,
just this
they're
week?
11 now. My thought on that would be like, maybe you can come in and give sort of that conversation as part of our training, like,
Yeah.
whatever, 5-10 minutes to just be like, hey, based off of what happened last week, these are the talking points that you guys should be out there having with your clients.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Cool.
I can definitely hop on that call and give you guys a little bit of some knowledge of what's going on out there. It's getting fun. It's getting fun. There's I don't know if you guys are seeing it in your area, but I'm seeing a lot more investors buying right now. A lot more investors, which is normally a pretty good sign, in my opinion, that they don't think we have a big correction coming. Because if they thought a big correction coming, they'd still be on the sidelines waiting for their good opportunity to buy. So if you see a bunch of investors buying, talk to your first-time homebuyers about this. If your investors are buying houses right now, this is what they do as a living. So what does that tell you as a first-time homebuyer? It's a good time to go buy your house.
Yeah. So that's another nugget, man. That I've used some of the sound bites that you gave us was a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I've used it ad nauseum, man. So I love it. Keep them coming. That's a beautiful one. So if you guys haven't heard that one, investors buying, you first-time home buyers should be buying too.
That's a nugget, man. That is a nugget.
Yeah, they have to buy homes that they can be profitable with. All right. That's how they make a living. So they're running numbers. They are watching the market and where the market's going before they buy a property. They just don't blindly say, hey, I need a house to live in. I'm going to go buy it like a first-time home buyer would. They literally look at the market. They put their cash together and they find when the right time for them to buy is with a plan. So if they're buying right now, I would say the last 6 contracts I got in Delaware were all investors who are buying condos at the beach. So I'm seeing a shift from them buying single families in the $700,000 range to buying $350,000 to $410,000 condos. But
That's good to
anything
know.
you need, I'm here, guys.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Again, go out there and cause and create miracles. Have a wonderful day.